Hello, my name is Rauli Juvan. I'm the analyst for Oriola at Inderesin, basically from now onwards. And we have today CEO Katarina Gabrielson for an interview following the Q2. So welcome, Katarina.
Thank you.
You were appointed as the CEO in spring, but you have been at Oriola for several years. So is there anything new you have noted now about the company at your position as a CEO during the recent months?
Not really about the company. I've been part of the Oriola management team for several years, and of course, like you said, also been part of the company for several years now. And I have been taking an active role in the decisions that has been done during the last years. So I think we are moving in the right directions, and we have like most of these things in place. And I think it's also like one thing that I have really noticed during this period now is that we have a lot of knowledgeable and dedicated people in the company, and they are really driving for achieving our goals and our turnaround.
Yeah, and in addition to the people, what would you say are the key strengths of Oriola?
I will say that if you look for our markets, it's quite stable. It's like an attractive operating environment. We can see the mega trends like aging populations and increasing interest for health and well-being. And that is, of course, also strengthening our main markets and creates the structural growth for us. We also have like a quite customer-oriented services offering. And we have a lot of long relationships with our customers. And we, at least we think we know their needs. And that doesn't matter if they are pharmaceutical companies or if it's pharmacies or healthcare operators. We work very much close together with all of these ones. And also if we see that the potential joint venture that we then have now in Sweden coming up, you can also see that this is also like an opportunity for us to be part of developing the pharmacy business in Sweden.
Yeah, thank you. And then going into Q2, how would you say that went compared to your own expectations?
I'm really satisfied with the performance we have done. I will say it's a solid performance, and Q2 is to some extent also a more maybe normal quarter for us than Q1 was, since we had like extra like sales from COVID products in consumer business and also some bunkering effects in the first quarter. But operating environment that we have had has been remaining uncertain, and I can also see that for the future. But despite these ones, we can see that the net sales grew by around 8%, and the comparable adjusted EBIT more than doubled during the second quarter. The good results was driven by continuing high market demand and also then increased sales. And it was in all areas, but particularly in Finland. If I look at the turnaround program we have, then I can see that has progressed well, and the cost savings has helped us then to mitigate the impact of the rising inflation. And then you can of course say also that in the end of June we also got approval from the Swedish competition authorities regarding the merger of a potential merger of Oriola and Euroapotheca pharmacy businesses in Sweden. Of course, it's not like affecting the result, but it's a main takeaway from us for the Q2, because this is something that we are then planning to complete now during Q3. So the completion will hopefully be taking place in early October this year.
Yeah, sure. You mentioned the turnaround measures you have been running since last year. How are those progressing overall, and when should we see the full impacts from all of those?
You have started to see some of the impacts. The first one that we did was estimated to be around 7 million euros, and that has of course like already started. And we are like not today saying any more figures because we are like releasing the figures after hand. For us, we can say also a lot of the turnarounds measures is something that we will continue to work with also for the future, and that's just a little bit like how it is. And you can also see then in the Q2 the result that the efficiency improvements that's coming from the turnaround has bearing fruit.
Yeah. Good. And then I wanted to touch on the management changes. There has been quite a few now during the past 6 months or so, especially in the top management. So has that had some impact on the operations or overall the functionality of the company?
I will say that it hasn't. It's true that there has been some changes in the top management in the past months. It's also part of the normal evolution of a company to that this is happening. It has not impacted the operations or the strategic plans that we have. I think we have a good team in place, and I'm also confident that we can deliver the promises in the future. So I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, good. And then there's obviously quite a lot going on around the macro environment with the high inflation and the gas worries following the Russian attack on Ukraine. So what are the main impacts from all of that you are seeing or kind of perhaps expecting or fearing to see in the future?
Like I said here before, it's like the operating environment is like still uncertain, and I can see it like continuing to be uncertain for the coming quarters. Consumer confidence is weakening. We can see it ourselves when we are like shopping and maybe like filling the gas in our cars. It's like every time it's more expensive. And this has, of course, changed the consumer behavior, and it might impact also the consumer spending in the long run. For us, we can see that the energy and fuel prices as well as labor costs are increasing. And we have started to mitigate the effect to these events. And the turnaround actions is, of course, one thing, but this also then will be normal actions in the logistics and warehousing business. And, of course, we also have price discussions with the customers and partners. Then I will also flag here that we can see that also then COVID-19 might hit again. Mm-hmm. There is a potential, of course, that no one knows what will happen during the autumn time at this point.
Yeah, indeed. And regarding the contracts, can you say anything about your pricing structures? That how fast or agile are you able to pass on the price increases, or is it more cost adjustment in the near term to offset the inflation?
We can say that we don't comment our contracts, of course, with the customers. But what I can say is that we are like doing whatever we can, of course, in these aspects. But one thing that we can do on an everyday business is, of course, look at our own costs and what we are doing in these ones. And then the customers we will have discussions with them whenever we can.
Yeah, sure. And then as the last question, what's your main priority now as a CEO for the coming 6 to 12 months?
My top priorities right now is, of course, then to secure that the team in Oriola has the possibility then to really do the decided actions that we have forward. And I will say that we should focus to really make them happen and really deliver what is then required from the people. And if I look at the 2 top priorities that we have, I have already touched them. Then one is then, of course, really to do the turnaround and really deliver that. And the other one is then to make sure that we have a potential, I need to say here, but that we then need to succeed with the planned merger between Kronans Apotek and Euroapoteka. It's really important both for the joint venture and also for Oriola that we succeed with that. Yeah.
And I understood that as that has been closed, you will also share some more strategic views on how to develop the continuing operations. Yes.
We will.
So we will look forward for that then later in the year perhaps or early next year. So thank you for this, Katarina.
Thank you.